FODMAP diet to reduce gas and bloating. FODMAP is an acronym standing for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. The simple explanation is that it is a diet that limits or omits fermentable types of carbohydrates, which are actually short-chain sugars. You might ask, why would someone want to limit or omit these short-chain sugars? This diet was developed in Australia at Monash University to treat irritable bowel syndrome, also known as IBS. IBS affects 15 to 25% of the population worldwide. This diet can also help the average person reduce flatulence. You may ask for the evidence that shows efficacy for the low FODMAP diet on treating IBS. This study talks about 6 randomized controlled trials comparing low FODMAP diet with placebo approaches. All have indicated efficacy in patients with IBS. The mechanics of the low FODMAP diet are rather simple. FODMAPs are short-chain sugars that are poorly absorbed. They ferment, causing intestinal gas. They can absorb water and cause bloating and diarrhea also. This is especially true in people with less than optimal levels of friendly bacteria in their intestines. Following a low FODMAP diet is not difficult. One would eliminate high FODMAP foods for a period of approximately 4 weeks. After that, you slowly add back one high FODMAP food each day. You can then notice if you are sensitive to that food. Please note that avoiding all FODMAPs long-term may cause nutrient deficiencies. Also, avoiding all FODMAPs long-term will negatively impact the intestinal microbiome. This study, published in March of 2017, backs up what I just said about a strict long-term low FODMAP diet negatively impacting the intestinal microbiome. Please understand that this is a new science. It was recently developed. Low FODMAP dietary food lists are often discordant. Not all foods around the globe have been analyzed for FODMAPs. The lists that follow are not complete and are subject to change as new data regarding the FODMAP content of foods becomes available. Vegetables and tubers. High FODMAP foods include artichokes, asparagus, avocados, beets, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, fennel, green bell peppers, garlic, leeks, mushrooms, okra, onions, scallions, shallots. Low FODMAP vegetables and tubers include bok choy, butternut squash, carrots, celery, chives, cucumbers, eggplant, ginger, lettuce, olives, parsnips, parsley, red bell peppers, potatoes, pumpkin, spinach, sweet potatoes, tapioca, tomatoes, and zucchini. You may have just noticed that green bell pepper is a high FODMAP food and red bell pepper is a low FODMAP food. You might be wondering why. It's because green bell peppers that are commercially available are picked before they are ripe. If they are left on the plant to become ripe, they will become red. You see, ripe vegetables digest much more easily than unripe vegetables. Grains. High FODMAP grains include barley, bulgur wheat, rye, wheat, and semolina. Low FODMAP grains include amaranth, buckwheat, corn, oats, millet, quinoa, rice, sorghum, and teff. You may have just noticed that high FODMAP grains also contain gluten, and that low FODMAP grains are usually gluten-free. It turns out that in non-celiac individuals, some studies indicate that the FODMAPs exacerbate the IBS and not the gluten. This study was published back in 2013. It was a double-blind crossover trial with 37 participants. It was found that gluten-specific effects were only observed in 8% of the participants. High FODMAP fruits include apples, apricots, blackberries, cherries, lychees, nectarines, peaches, pears, plums, prunes, and watermelon. Low FODMAP fruits include bananas, blueberries, boysenberries, cantaloupe, cranberries, clementines, dates, grapes, grapefruits, kiwis, lemons, limes, mandarins, melons, oranges, passion fruit, papaya, pineapple, raspberries, and strawberries. It is important to practice proper food combining. Proper food combining will reduce or eliminate significant amounts of gas and bloating. There's an old saying with melons, eat them alone or leave them alone. If you have not studied proper food combining, I suggest that you do so. Beans, peas, and legumes. High FODMAPs include black beans, black-eyed peas, broad beans, butter beans, carob, chickpeas, fava beans, lentils, kidney beans, navy beans, peas, peanuts, soybeans, sugar snap peas, and tamarind. Low FODMAPs include green beans, tempeh, tofu, according to the researchers at Monash University, and sprouted beans. Here you see a picture of sprouted chickpeas. If you have never sprouted beans or lentils, note that it's much easier than you might imagine. You simply soak the dried beans or lentils overnight. Rinse 2 times a day and keep drained. Some varieties will sprout tails. Cooking sprouted beans reduces the potential to cause gas. There are many varieties of lentils. Here we see some sprouted green lentils. Nuts and seeds. High FODMAPs include cashews, peanuts, and pistachios. Low FODMAPs include almonds, pecans, pine nuts, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, and walnuts. Dairy products. High FODMAPs include cow's milk, goat's milk, sheep's milk, soft cheese, and dairy yogurt. Low FODMAPs include almond milk, lactose-free milk, oat milk, rice milk, and non-dairy yogurt, provided it's made from low FODMAP food. Sweeteners. High FODMAP sweeteners include agave, fructose, honey, high fructose corn syrup. The sugar alcohols, isomalt, levulose, maltitol, mannitol, sorbitol, and xylitol. Low FODMAP sweeteners include beet sugar, cane juice crystals, glucose, maple syrup, rice malt syrup, and plain old sugar. However, those are all high glycemic sweeteners. Stevia is also a low FODMAP sweetener that happens to be low glycemic. As far as coconut sugar and yacon syrup, no official verification yet, but they are suspect. Beverages. High FODMAP beverages include the alcoholic beverage rum, hot drinks that contain carob or chicory root, and drinks with high fructose corn syrup. Prebiotics are very important in our diets. Prebiotics are food for probiotics. When the probiotics, or the friendly bacteria, eat the prebiotics become strong enough to kill and consume the bad bacteria. However, prebiotics also happen to be high FODMAP foods. Some examples are inulin and fructooligosaccharides. This is why, or one of the reasons why, it's very important to supplement your diet with probiotics to get those levels high enough so that they eat the prebiotics and the prebiotics do not end up fermenting in your intestinal tract. In summary, to reduce gas and bloating, supplement your diet with probiotics on a regular basis. Practice proper food combining. Avoid overeating. Soak or sprout beans, peas, and legumes before cooking them. And experiment with FODMAPs to see which ones your system may have trouble with. Here are some examples of the FODMAP sugars. For those of you who enjoy a little bit more technical data, I've included the following few slides. Examples of galacto-oligosaccharides include beans, peas, and legumes, including peanuts, tamarind, and carob. These FODMAPs contain fructans, artichokes, including Jerusalem and Globe, asparagus, beets, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, chicory, dandelion, fennel, garlic, leek, onion, and radicchio. The prebiotics inulin and FOS, and the grains barley, rye, and wheat. Lactose is a disaccharide. It's found in milk, cheese, and dairy yogurt. Fructose is a monosaccharide. It's found in apples, honey, mangoes, pears, watermelon, and high fructose corn syrup. Some foods contain both fructose and polyols. Polyols are found in apples, apricots, nectarines, pears, plums, prunes, mushrooms, sorbitol, mannitol, xylitol, maltitol, and isomalt. The way I see it is that the goal of the FODMAP diet is to provide temporary relief of IBS symptoms while repairing the intestinal tract. The long-term goal for IBS is to repopulate the intestinal tract with the proper colonies of probiotic bacteria that will make your digestion and absorption work as they were intended to.